I know. I don't even know how your shoulders are up after that. Like, I am not even part of the English team. I'm not English. I feel flat. I really, Mel, I don't know about you, but I've been questioning my life choices in the last few days, especially this morning. Like, what's the point of us watching so much nets, and especially the English guys in the nets? And then, they're working on different things, and then they go out there, and that happens. If we've seen more of them in the nets than we have in the middle, that says a lot about this Ashes
Oh my God,
series.
you're right. We have. We've seen more of them batting in the nets than we have in the middle.
And poof, the Ashes is gone.
Poof! Poof!
Indeed.
Let's get on with it. Hello everyone, I can't even speak anymore. Welcome to the good, the bad and the ridiculous from the MCG. We are feeling a bit flat. It's like 11 days and one session, not even, is all it took in the end. After so much hype, so much build up, so much whatever. Quarantine. I did 14 days of quarantine to get to the Gabba, man. You questioning your life choices about the nets. I'm also questioning life choices, but hey, let's get on with it. What can we say? So Gaurav nominates bad in affectionate remembrance of English cricket, which died at the MCG on the 28th of December 2021, deeply lamented by a large circle of soldering friends and acquaintances. RIP. NB, the body will be cremated and the ashes will remain in Australia. I see what you did there. Yeah, look, it's what I was thinking was the exhilaration of fans, the exhilaration particularly for England of Headingley seems a lifetime ago, another lifetime, another universe. And not only the exhilaration for English cricket in celebrating an amazing win and a brilliant performance, particularly by Ben Stokes, but just Test cricket. It was so exciting, it was amazing. That seems like a lifetime ago now, doesn't it? It just does feel really flat. For England, I don't know where the recriminations start and begin. It seems to be so all-encompassing, but they can't produce a spinner. They've played probably the best batters that they've had available. Yeah, they had poor preparation. Yeah, the world's been a weird place. Yes, Ben Stokes came out cold after many months out of the game. But even so, even when you think back to 17-18, I mean, arguably, this was a better bowling attack than then. They don't have Alistair Cook, but just so many problems. And this is one of the most lopsided series that I've seen.
The most lopsided series that I've ever covered, for sure. And like I was telling you earlier, Mel, it was still last night in England when the English just collapsed. It was one of those things, we were talking about Leeds this morning when I was walking in. I kept thinking about it. I was like, okay, Ben Stokes, this is the third test. That was the third test as well. And you just felt like he had that one special innings or special knock or something special in store for us. I remember seeing him during that warm-up game against England Lions. He was so loud. He was the one egging everyone on, and it looked like he was enjoying being out there. But then once he was bowled, you just got this weird feeling that we were watching or about to watch 36 all out again, what happened to India last year. And that's exactly what happened, wicket after wicket after wicket after wicket. And it wasn't even noon before England were bowled out in innings defeat. I kept saying, remember, that there might be a 74 all out in this game. I thought that might happen in the first innings, but well, England saved it for the last, I guess. I don't even know what to say anymore. It just all the hype around the Ashes, and I stick to it. I think the time has come where Australia play the Ashes against some other country at home. England can go get better at what they do, and then we'll see in a few years.
It won't be the Ashes, but I do definitely think that 5 tests is too much. I think England-India 5 tests is too much.
Oh, yeah.
I think 5 test series is
in
too much.
today's day and age, yeah.
Won't happen.
But Gaurav, very nicely done.
Yes. Oh, and also another one from Gaurav. Ridiculously sad, Jimmy Anderson, 39 and still bowling like a champ, walks the long trail back to the dugout with his head down after being the last batter to get out. The perennial last man for England, always being let down by his team. Yeah, you know, it's been the same sort of story, hasn't it? I thought England bowled well in this test. I don't know, some people were saying, oh, they should have done this or they should have done that. Even Joe Root said to me afterwards when we did an interview that he thought that was probably about par, and it maybe was about par. I mean, this was, let's not sugarcoat it, this was as tough a pitch to bat on against good fast bowling as you're likely to see anywhere. I mean, it was really tough, and England bowled well. Again, it's just the difference in the batting, like the capitulation, I guess, that was there. But you know, Jimmy Anderson bowled. Well, that was an incredible, not just spell, but spells of bowling that he bowled. Mark Wood was terrific. But again and again, their bowlers have done the hard work. The batting has just capitulated, and it's just really sad to see.
It is, and the issue is deep rooted. I think Rob Johnson, my colleague at Craig Buzz, number one cricket website in the world, cheap plug, has written a really good piece. He wrote it 2 days ago, but I think it'll stay valid for a while to come, at least till this Ashes series is over, about how the issues go back to county cricket, coaching at grassroots levels, and a lot of other things. Because you just look at this England team, Mel, except Ben Stokes and Joe Root, like I think it was Dean Wilson who asked that question during the press conference today, the batting is just not improved. Like the batters who come into this side actually get worse and not better. And there are so many. I mean, Ollie Pope has played 23 odd test matches. He doesn't average 30. Zach Crawley started off his career with a bang, and you know, yes, it was unfair to throw him into the deep end here and ask him to open the batting, but you know, he didn't look. He looked out of sorts. Hasib Hamid, now 3 tests into the series, seems pretty clueless despite all the hard work he puts into his game. And where do England really go from here? There was this capitulation was coming. You just knew, you know, they didn't know where their feet were going. They didn't know where their hands were going. But you just knew that they were going to lose heart, and you know, that they would get that spirit-crushing, soul-crushing defeat at some point. And it's happened here. And like, yeah, the Ashes are gone. They have 2 test matches to, I don't know, make the most of it and show some spirit. But you know what? Unless they go in their dressing rooms and talk not about being disappointed, but about being angry with themselves and each other, I don't see any difference in their performance in Sydney and Hobart.
You say, you know, where hands and feet are and everything. I said to you before, they resemble basically puppets who've had their strings cut. Yeah. It feels like it's all just collapsing. Yeah. And that's, like I said, again, very sad to see.
But Jimmy Anderson, yes, that was the original point.
Yeah.
I mean, every time I see him walk out to bat in any test match, not just during the series, and where the defeat is just imminent, I feel so bad for him. Like, you know, I think that's when he must be, if as any human being would be, questioning his life choices about, you know, if this is working out, if there is any point. Then today, as he was walking off, the spider cam was right above him. If I was controlling the spider cam, I would have asked him a question. Jimmy, is it worth it? Yeah, I know, it's one of those things.
It is sad. Gaurav, you're on a roll today, mate. Ridiculously sweet, the second Indigenous man to play Test cricket for Australia, winning the Muller Medal, an award meant to celebrate the Indigenous heritage of Aussie cricket. Boland will shine like a beacon for all the Indigenous Australians for time immemorial. We were lucky to speak to Belinda Duarte, who presented him with the Muller Medal, who is a descendant of one of the players in that famous team, Indigenous team that went to England. She was crying when she was talking to us. She was so emotional for her, and explaining what it meant. You know, the role that ancestors have played in this. Just, yeah, I don't think white Australians or non-Indigenous Australians can truly appreciate just what it means, but in speaking to her, you got a glimpse of it, and it was making me really teary, actually. So look, it's a wonderful thing. Cricket has got a long way to go when it comes to developing Indigenous players and making cricket a sport where all Indigenous kids and families feel welcome and that they embrace as their sport. It's probably only in the past 10 years, I think, that Cricket Australia have started to take it seriously. But I do think they do now, and I think they want to do a lot better. And there's a lot of work being done in that area now. But to see one player go out there and do what he did, and know that he is an Indigenous Australian, I don't think I can't appreciate what that must mean. But I can see how much, you know, other people realise what that is, and the people who it's really important for. So absolutely brilliant for him to do it at the MCG, you know, his home ground. And also a point, just another thing, like in this series, Australia's fast bowling line, you know, depth has been genuinely tested, and their selections have been spot on. They've got it. The players who have come in have performed, and you know, not having to rely on the big three, as we keep calling them. I'm not going to call them the cartel. No, banned word. But it is, you know, it's just a really great thing to see for Australian cricket, how well the bowlers who've come in have responded to it. And it's just a brilliant moment for Scott Boland.
Absolutely. And you know, Mel, before Belinda spoke to us, I was just walking around the press area, and she must have done 3 or 4 interviews, and she got emotional every single time. She broke down every single time, and that just told you how much it means to her, and for every Indigenous person right now in Australia, whether you know cricket, whether you played cricket, whether you care about cricket, to just see one of your own be there on this grand stage being celebrated, and to pick up that medal, which was, you know, initiated or brought into place to celebrate that first Indigenous tour to England, says so much. And a couple of things that really stood out for me from, like, you know, what she said was how she spoke about the ancestors, the old people, had something to do with what Scott Boland produced today, because they always carry their ancestors wherever they go, and it's something that I can relate to, which is very much part of most Indian communities. We also believe a lot in, you know, our ancestors are always looking down on us, they're always with us. Whatever we do well in life, they played a role in it. So I could really relate with it, and it was very touching. And the other thing that she said was, and I've heard a lot of you know, Indigenous leaders say this: you can only be what you can see. And you know, I remember when Ash Barty won Wimbledon, and what, just being in Australia, you could see what it meant to you know, the original inhabitants of this land. And for Scott Boland to do that, and for Belinda to be there to, you know, give him that medal, it just brought everything together. And hopefully it'll you know, see a lot more kids from various parts of the country you know, watched TV today, whether, like I said, whether they follow cricket or not, for them to say, you know what, I want to do what he has done. And what a moment for Scott Boland, the cricketer as well. At 32, I've seen him bowl a lot in Shield cricket, Mel, as you know, and I always say the same thing on commentary. I say he's the testing ground, like, you know, he is the benchmark of the quality of Sheffield Shield cricket, because he's just taking wickets every year. And if you are a young batter, if you can handle him, then you know you're ready for the next level. For him to get that opportunity on his home ground and to produce one of the most remarkable spells of fast bowling I've ever seen. He bowled 4 overs and he took 6 wickets. I mean, that's T20 cricket, isn't it? Like, you know, it's just incredible.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. Amitabha nominates as ridiculous worst England batting lineup in their history of cricket of 144 years. Bad new strategy of hitting England captains nuts regularly. Could be new strategy for future Ashes. Good Australia's fast bowling. They hurled grenades. But they did hurl grenades at Joe Root's nuts. To be fair, I tweeted this out, that Australia hit Joe Root's nuts almost as many times as they hit the stumps, and that really is saying something for this series. I mean, the poor bloke, it was bollocks line. That's what it was. It's pretty brutal. And I mean, I feel really sorry for Joe Root. He's carrying so much stuff, and everything around him is falling down. And every time I look at him, he's still able to smile at times and keep his head. When he drove that last ball last night, I was like, far out, you've survived the hat-trick ball, the most unbelievable hostile bowling on a really, really tough wicket, last ball of the day, determined stride forward and drive. he's a remarkable young man. I think he's a thoroughly decent man. And I just feel sorry for him because I feel like all the weight of all English cricket is just weighing on his shoulders. And to top it off, Australia keep going for the knackers.
I know. I mean, that's the only thing he has going for him. And like, they don't leave that alone for poor Joe Root. No, there was this moment yesterday, if you remember, when Jack Leach got out. And Ben Stokes took a while to get ready and come out.
Yeah.
And just seeing Joe Root there all by himself in this cauldron that is the MCG and the Australian bowlers breathing fire. And that just summed up the series for me. That's what it's been. He's waged this lone battle as captain, as batter, as leader, as everything. The openers, I said yesterday on air, I said, hopefully he's had a great day as captain. He's smiled a lot.
Yeah.
Hopefully the openers will ensure he doesn't have to come out to bat. What happens in the 4th or 5th over, he's out batting again. So, yeah, I mean, you have to feel for Joe Root. Just, in the English press, understandably did go after him, asked questions about, his future as captain. And he just said, look, this is not the right time to talk about it. We still have 2 test matches, but what else could he have said? So, hopefully for his sake, he has 2 good test matches. 2021, great year for him. He couldn't break the record, of course, but for most runs in a calendar year. But it's been a great year for Joe Root personally. Hopefully that continues into the next year, and hopefully England do, like the rest, rally around him, and they owe him at least one good.
But who else could England install as captain?
That's the thing.
Genuinely, I mean, you can't ask Ben Stokes to do it when he's playing all formats. He's just come back from a mental health break. He's had a lot to deal with. Who else do you get there? Like, I don't think Joe Root's the problem. And I know people will criticise his captaincy. I don't actually think Joe Root's captaincy is what's lost in this Ashes.
It's this lack of support in the batting, honestly. Like you cannot.
And all around him, not just the batting.
Absolutely,
all the lack of support.
And not just on the field, behind the scenes as well, off the field as well. I mean, some of the decisions that have been taken by the coach/selector before the game, during the game, the lack of strategizing, it's just bizarre. Ollie Robinson pulling off spin. There's so much, and we're still just 3 tests in there, 2 more to go. Who knows what more England are going to dish out. At least we have a week's break between now and then. So yeah, we can make the most of it in Melbourne and then head to Sydney and see what happens.
Okay, the time has come. What is the goodest thing of the day?
Scott Boland. I mean, Scott Boland, the cricketer, even before we get into what it meant, for every Indigenous Australian today, just, it's reward for all these years that he's put in, season after season. He's been a net bowler to some of the visiting teams. I was speaking to someone in the West Indies, and they were so happy that he did well. Apparently he was this genuinely nice guy who helped them out a lot a few years ago when he was bowling in the nets with them. So just an all-round good guy, and for him to do that and pick up the Muller medal like he did from Belinda up, it was just like not just good, it was the best moment for me in 2021 in cricket.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. Okay, Bharat, lots to choose from. Time for the baddest thing of the day.
68 all out. I mean, seriously. I mean, they lost by an innings after, Australia took an 82-run lead. Like, these are things that you joke about. Like, these are things that you never think will happen, and you expected them to come out with some heart, some spirit at some point, But then it was just disappointing. And like you said, not just from an Ashes perspective, but a Test cricket perspective, from a neutral fan perspective. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. I don't know. Maybe, hopefully, they've hit rock bottom, and the only way is up, as they say. But I don't think it can get worse than this.
You say that now. We'll see you after Sydney and maybe Hobart. Okay, Bharat, time for the ridiculousest thing of the day. Can I give you a thing? If we're talking about this test, I would like to put up there, all of those technique things that were being practiced in the nets. And I wrote about this, but the sight, when you saw at one point what is summed up to me England's batting, was the sight of Haseeb Hameed on one foot hopping while batting with one, so like this.
You don't fall down, yeah.
Yeah,
But
well,
yeah,
he almost did.
He almost did.
He almost did. And that to me, it was like, if you've ever seen the Black Knight in Monty Python, so, with his arms cut off and a leg cut off, hopping, trying to headbutt King Arthur, saying, "'Tis but a scratch." That has kind of been England, and it's summed up to see, you know, a batter on one foot, one arm, batting, and just everyone seeming so clueless, desperately searching. I've never seen all of that happen before a test match quite like that. People try different things, but I don't think I've ever seen that.
And generally when people try different things, you end up writing a piece on how it worked out.
Yeah.
But they just went from bad to worse, like, you know, after they tried all that. Like I said before the test, maybe they knew what they were doing. We are nobody to judge, but whatever it was, it hasn't worked out. Rory Burns was in the nets like an hour after the test match was over, and they seem to be working on his technique now. I don't know what's going to happen. So yeah, I mean, this has just been a ridiculous series, honestly. Already it's over, like, what did you say, 11 sessions, 11 and a half sessions?
11 days in one session.
Yeah, like our good friend Izzy Westbury tweeted, I think they spend more time in quarantine than they have in this test series.
Yeah.
And I think the most ridiculous thing is the fact that we still have 2 more test matches to come. So who knows, like, going back to what I said, we might end up seeing something much worse than what we have already.
Let's hope not. Let's hope that something good is about to happen for test cricket, because we needed to. That's the end of 2021.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you all. I hope 2022, no matter what 2021 had in store for you, I hope 2022 is better. And we will see you, Sydney. Yes, if we make it there.
We will.
Until then, take care. We'll see you soon.
That's a new heart sign, by the way. I don't think I'm doing it right.